Twilight jumped up, bracing her weight on Fluttershy's back as she peered down at the mice, looking them over to see if they were hurt. "They're fine, dear, but we need to change them back with this." Rarity pulled the necklace from Fluttershy's mouth and gave it to Twilight. Twilight immediately grabbed the necklace and almost squealed. "Where did you get this?" Smolder said she and Ocellus found it in Silverstream's room. She must have forgotten it when she went to visit home. Twilight returned to the classroom, confusing the others who reluctantly entered the class with her. "Class, I have something very rare to show you. This is a piece of the hippogriff's pearl that allowed them to transform from hippogriffs into sea ponies. If you'd all like to come closer, I can show you all how it works." The class started to get out of their seats and move to the front as Fluttershy tapped on Twilight's shoulder. "Shouldn't we turn Smolder and Ocellus back first and maybe not show off Silverstream's necklace without her permission?" "Relax, I've read everything I can on the hippogriffs. This will be a good magical lesson for the class and then we can put it back before Silverstream returns." Twilight noticed one student still in her seat. "Cozy Glow, don't you want to join in?" "Oh, of course, Head Mare Twilight, but I was thinking, what if I watched, so then I could write down notes and then share those notes with the class?" "That's an excellent idea." "All right then, class, everyone hold on to each other, this only works if everyone is connected." As each of the class members placed their hooves on the next's back, Twilight also touched Spike and Fluttershy with each of her wings. Fluttershy hesitantly reached a hoof out that Rarity eventually grabbed before Twilight started batting at the pearl that dangled in front of her. "I don't think it's working, darling. Just a second. I know how this works." The pearl glowed as it activated, causing Twilight to drop the necklace. "Oof!" Twilight turned to see a turquoise and orange mouse, lying on top of a yellow mouse. As she looked around, she saw all the students had been turned into mice, even Spike, who was a little smaller than all the others. "Well then. I think that's enough of that, let's change back." Twilight turned around but couldn't seem to find the necklace, even though it should have been larger than herself. "Golly, that was very informative of you, Head Mare." The mice looked up to see Cozy Glow, sitting on the edge of the teacher's desk, swinging her hooves above them all as she swung Silverstream's necklace from her forehoof. "Not only did you teach me how useful this could be, but you also just removed yourself from my way." "Cozy? What are you talking about?" Cozy looked down as the purple mouse squeaked up at her before letting out a giggle. "And on top of that, all you can do is make mouse squeaks. Without Professor Fluttershy around to interpret, so the likelihood of any of you getting anyone to know you're not really mice is basically zero." Cozy hopped down from the desk, still using it to keep herself up on her hooves as they crashed down between the mice. She lifted a leg and dropped her hoof onto Twilight, pinning her underneath. Other mice scurried over to try to lift the filly's hoof off of Twilight, but even for such a small pony, they couldn't budge her. "I could crush you, ensure you're out of my way, but I'd hate to get my hooves so messy." She lifted her hoof off of Twilight before reaching down and grabbing her by the tail, fluttering back up onto the edge of the desk and dangling her over the ground. "I could eat you," she said as she spread her maw open, swinging Twilight above her as she breathed heavily onto the mouse, who grabbed onto the filly's lips, pushing back as she was slowly lowered. "But..." Twilight swung away from the open maw, back to dangling over the table. "I'm such a tiny filly. I'm sure a mouse as big as you would give me such a tummy ache." Cozy acted with big eyes before immediately frowning and dropping Twilight. Both Fluttershy and Rarity managed to catch her before she hit the ground, protecting her from the fall. Cozy, however, began to flutter above them as she headed towards the door. "Maybe when I'm the Empress of Friendship, I'll make you my pets." She exited the class, slamming the door shut before dropping to the ground, looking over the necklace. The ideas of what she could turn herself into to rule started to make her shiver with excitement. Her daydreaming was quickly cut short as she heard laughter coming around the corner. She hid the necklace behind her back as Silverstream came around the corner with another hippogriff, this one yellow with a blue mane. Cozy. Silverstream waved at her as she trotted over a little faster. Cozy quickly put on a fake smile and waved back with her free hoof. Oh, hi there. Who's your new friend? This is my cousin, Skystar. I mean, Princess Skystar. She came back with me to visit, I was gonna show her around. Wanna help? Before Cozy could reply, a low growl echoed through the corridors. Skystar rubbed her claw along her belly, a little embarrassed. Sorry, it's been such a long trip. I haven't eaten in a while. Then an idea crossed Cozy's mind and a real smile formed across her face. Gee, I'd like to help show your cousin around. But we have a mouse infestation in the school. Mice? Can't Fluttershy handle them? Oh, yes of course, but these are bad mice from a faraway land. They came here to take over the nicer mice. Ah, how sad. Skystar looked like she was about to cry before Cozy suddenly perked up. But we got some trapped in this classroom. If you wanna help get rid of them while I go clear out another room, why, that would be fantastic. How do we know which are the bad ones and which are the nice ones? Also, how do you get rid of them? Silverstream began looking around, expecting one to come running down the corridors. Oh, the mean ones are all multicolored. You don't need to worry about the nice ones. Fluttershy already got them all to safety. As for what you do, well, that's up to you. After all, many hooves make faster work. Cozy began to walk backwards, keeping the necklace hidden behind her back until she got around the corner before she pulled it out from behind. She quickly peeked back around the corner to see the two hippogriffs open the door and enter the class. As soon as the door slammed shut, she giggled to herself. Now, to use this to rule the school. Cozy put the necklace around her neck. As soon as the pearl dangled by her chest, it lit up as it activated. What do we do now? Rarity asked as she and Fluttershy helped Twilight up from her fall. Among the three of them was Spike, Smolder and Ocellus as well as another 8 students, all stuck as mice. Without that necklace, we can't turn ourselves back. But how do we get it? Smolder pointed towards the large door that even if they all climbed on top of each other, still wouldn't be able to reach the handle, let alone pull it open. The door is keeping us trapped in here. There's only 10 minutes of class left. After that, the next class will come in. We'll have a chance then. The door began to creak and the group of mice all turned their attention towards it. Twilight looked up at the clock high above before turning back to the door. It's too early for the next class. The door swung open as Silverstream and Skystar entered, their claws clacking on the floorboards as they approached the group of mice. Is that them? Silverstream leaned in closer, her head looming over the entire group. Must be, I don't see any other mice. So what do we do with them? Skystar also leaned in, looming even more as she was slightly bigger than her cousin. I don't know, they don't look all that mean. They must be, Cozy Glow would never lie like that. Spike ran out in front of the others, against Twilight's sudden protest. Wait, don't listen to her, she's lying. She's actually evil. Spike jumped up and down, waving his paws as Twilight ran across the floor towards him. As she got closer, Skystar reached out with her claw. Spike turned to run back but the claw came down around him. 2 claws pinched down around both his hind legs while another came up from below, poking into his small belly as it began to lift him up. Twilight leapt for him, barely managing to grab his paws but Skystar easily shook her loose as she lifted the smallest mouse up by his rear. She did say it was up to us how we get rid of them. And it was a very long trip here. Silverstream placed a claw on Skystar's arm as she began to bounce with excitement. Are you saying what I